remind you that since 2015, when General Muhammadu Buhari late came into power, there was a certain change in attitude of the government with regards to non-state actors, especially those who do it in the name of Islam, those who believe they are Islamist, although hiding under all forms of nomenclature, from Boko Haram to the ones that directly sprang up from Boko Haram and swore allegiance to ISIS, to the ones that are operational in the Middle Belt that pass as headers. Mass graves, mass slaughter is not new to Nigeria's Middle Belt. Mass burials are not new to any pastor in Nigeria's Middle Belt, whether the evangelicals, whether the Catholics, regardless of denomination. People have cried about this for over 15 years. It is unfortunate that all of a sudden, because the international community has decided to beam its searchlight in Nigeria, suddenly people are becoming awake to make it look as if the Christians were living a rosy life and then somebody is trying to put in an idea in their head that never existed before. It is a dirty situation that could best be described as a genocide. Reason being, these people are not just killing randomly. They are not thieves. They are not armed robbers. And I do not think they are bandits. I do not think they are kidnappers. Whatever form of criminality will be attached to their activity is simply what they do on the side to sustain themselves. They have a primary mission, which is expansionist, and it is fueled by their religious ideology, which is Islamism. It's as simple as that. That is how bad and dirty it is. They kill people in hundreds, they sack communities and all of that. It's a dirty situation. But
I mean, does it appear like this is targeted to a certain faith, a tribe, or a religion?
Yes, it's a Christian genocide. It is targeted against the people they refer to as infidels.
But some have also argued. Some have also argued that faith might not really be in the context here. That even people of other faith too are being killed and are also targets.
It is true. There is no Christian, there is no pastor, there is nobody that has ever denied the fact that Muslims also fall victim of these attacks. But what kind of Muslims are being attacked actually? It is Hausa Muslims. It is important to understand the people that are carrying out the attacks. And why are they being killed? They are being killed simply because they may not necessarily subscribe to the ideology of the killers.
Hello, lovers of justice, of peace and freedom in Nigeria. I greet you all. So barely 24 hours after President Donald Trump rightly elevated the status of Nigeria to that of a country of particular concern, especially there are a lot of reactions from Nigeria, from a lot of government officials, from a lot of Islamic bodies, but I'll pay more attention to that of government officials, especially that of the president. The president in his statement said, Nigeria is a country of constitutional democracy that guarantees freedom of worship, freedom of religion. Nobody is denying that fact. It is in our constitution. It is captured by section chapter 4 of our constitution. But incidentally, in the same constitution, in section 10, the constitution stipulates that the government of the federation or any of the states shall not adopt any religion as a state religion. Unfortunately, at the dawn of this current democracy, this republic in 1999, Governor Sani Yerima of Zamfara State adopted Sharia, and that's a violation of the constitution because Nigeria, for goodness sake, is a secular democracy. It's a secular state. We have a lot of countries with Muslim majority in Africa, like Senegal with about 95% Muslims, like Sierra Leone. But these countries do not have anything to do with Sharia in their laws, in their constitution. Sharia is captured under customary law, which should ordinarily be the case. Like in Nigeria, we have customary courts, we have customary laws. And so, if you want your marriage, for instance, or your divorce, or family issues to be arbitrated by Sharia, then you choose the Sharia in the customary. That is ordinarily how it should be. But when you begin to raise Sharia as an official state policy that even criminalizes some aspect of the criminal law of Nigeria, you are adopting Sharia as a state religion. That is the beginning of this problem. When this Fulani elite started bringing Sharia principles into our government, We're a secular democracy. Now, the Fulani elites, starting from those in the traditional institutions to the political institutions, have taken this jihad, this genocide, as a promise made by their forebearers, right from Ottoman Danfodio, to dip the Quran in the ocean. They cannot deceive everybody. They will rather continue to bask in the delusion of grandeur. The world has known all those things. You are fighting a fight that you cannot win. You must impose Sharia. The Fulani elites, they are the ones who have made Nigeria a fertile ground for the oppression of a lot of Islamist terrorist organizations in Nigeria. It is so unfortunate that Nigeria, my own beloved country, our beloved country, is ranked number 5 in the entire world as the country with the highest number of Islamist terrorist organizations. Next only to Afghanistan in the first place, Pakistan, Iraq, Somalia, and then Nigeria. So in Africa, Nigeria is next to Somalia. Unfortunately, my country, the biggest black nation in the world, the pride of the black nation, but because we have a very wicked set of political class, especially from the Fulani class, who have made it a dream that they must impose Sharia in Nigeria, and so they are using the institutions of these terrorists to execute it, because they know that they cannot execute it through the law and through government. And so when they begin to bring out that very non-sitting, preposterous excuse of they are in government but yet could not Islamize the country, that is because you cannot, ordinarily cannot. So you need, from the violent part, you need the terrorist organizations to do it. Why is Nigeria a fertile ground? Let's ask ourselves. To the terrorist organization. Only in Nigeria we have the Fulani terrorist organization, the most dangerous terrorist organization in Africa, that the government always deliberately refuse to call their names by. They refuse to always mention them. And that's the most dangerous terrorists that have terrorized the entirety of the Middle Belt up to the northwest and to the northeast. Then we have the Boko Haram, number 2. Then we have the Islamic State of West African Province, ISWAP, number 3. Then we have Lakurawa, 4. We have Ansaru, 5. We have Jama'atul Nasratu Islama Al-Muslimi, JNIM. Then even the government of Buhari designated the El Zazaki sect as a terrorist organization. So within Nigeria, we're having about 7 Islamist terrorist organizations. For what? What are they doing? What is their purpose? What is their objective? Islamize Nigeria. That is the objective. And then you begin to say there's no Christian genocide. Only in Nigeria, you're having over 7 Islamist terrorist organizations out of 193 countries in the world. 195 with the 2 other non-sovereign nations that are non-member of the United Nations. And then out of 55 countries in Africa, Nigeria is ranked number 5 as the country with the highest number of Islamist terrorist organizations, and number 2 in Africa out of 55 countries in Africa as the second biggest nation hosting the highest number of Islamist terrorist organizations. Why? If the government really wants to fight this, it will die down within a week. So instead of the government disturbing our ears by talking about freedom of worship out of the constitution, nobody denies that. The government should stand up, go after, crush them, remove all those Fulani guys in the security architecture. No Rubadu doesn't have any business being national security advisor. He will fight the Fulani terrorist. He will call the killings in Middle Belt former Hera crisis. He has been saying that. And then when you hear him talk about the IPOP or ESN, he talks as if he will kill himself. He talks with so much intensity. Remove all the Fulani ministers of defense and ministers of civil defense. Let's heal our country. Let's rebuild our country. Heal it. Let's put moratorium on Fulani occupying these sensitive positions first. When we finish building our country and healing the wounds they created, then they can come in. So rather than the government just try to debunk Christian killings in Nigeria, which everybody has known the reality of it, they should rather show seriousness by fighting this menace and let our people return back to their ancestral homes. They don't have any business being in the ITP camps. The people of Plateau, of Mangu, of Panshin, of Kanke, of Barkeladi, of Riom, of Basa do not have any business being in the IDP camps. The people in Benue from Apa to Agatu, to Gwe West, to Gwe East, to Makondi, to Guma, to Logo, to Ukum, to Sankara, Katsinala, to Kwandi do not have any business being in the IDP camp. The people in Sana Kaduna from Kachia to Kafancha, to Kogoro, to Kajuru, Chikum, Jaba, they do not have any business being in the IDP camps. Guantu people, why should they be in their own ancestral homes? You are killing them, and when the government talks, when the international community talks, you begin to bring a preposterous notion of the freedom of worship and religion as guaranteed by a constitution. Enough is enough. Nigeria must be right for all of us. We don't have any business adopting any religion anywhere. We are a secular nation. Everybody who desires to worship his religion should do that in peace, and it's a private matter. You shouldn't bring it into state policy and then begin to unleash terrorists after us killing our people. Enough is enough, please.
I think for once it is good to see the Nigerian ruling class shivered for once. It's good to see the Nigerian ruling class pretending or showing some sign of worry, or actually worried. I don't know if they are truly worried. But before I go into details, permit me to say, do Nigeria actually have a president? When nations come out to say they have a president, they have leaders who knows his responsibility as a president, are Nigerians also supposed to say same? Do you know why I'm asking this question? I think it's obvious now that America are beginning to show interest in the case of Nigeria. And obviously so many Nigerians are celebrating this. Why the ruling class are worried about it, but I think the ordinary citizen have nothing to worry about. I think recently it came on the news when the American president, Donald Trump, had declared Nigeria a country of particular concern. I know the Tinubu and APC supporter, majority of them will not understand what this means. Nigeria has been officially declared as a country of particular concern over Christian genocide. I think recently we were aware of a senator, Ted Cruz, a senator of the United States of America, when he made it public that Nigeria is a country of genocide, as in sponsoring or supporting Christian genocide. And I think in an attempt to cover all of that and do damage control, the Reno mockery, that animal defending rubbish, went ahead to further embarrass himself. So we know the story how it went then. So Donald Trump now has gone ahead to make it official. So which now means United States is now having serious interest in the security issues of Nigeria. Should I not be happy about it? Of course I am. Some person says they'll be coming for the resources of Nigeria. That America don't do anything for nothing. That they are coming for our resources. And I want to ask, who is our resources with? Nigeria resources is obviously not in the hands of Nigerians, but in the hands of some few criminals that call themselves leaders. They are the criminals who hold the resources of this country. And where would they take it to? The same America, the same Europe. So if America is coming to take it themselves, will it make any difference? Nigeria have been clamoring for help for a very long time. For a very long time. Is it not recently when they said the DSS went to arrest somebody in Rivers State, that the person is calling on the military to overthrow President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and do whatever it is? See, in as much as constitutionally, maybe the Constitution of the Federal Republic forbids that, but the guy just showed the sign of, we have no leader and we are willing to call for help from wherever. During the end bad governance protest, we saw the Northerners holding Russian flag, calling on Vladimir Putin. So it is no longer news today that Nigerians have been seeking help wherever any will be available. So if America is heeding to that call, fine and good. In as much as I fear those people, I know they don't give anything free, that the cost is going to be more than we expected. But we are left with no choice. Please, the United States of America and His Excellency Donald Trump, it is not a Christian genocide. I hate when they are making this whole thing religious, like it's going to be it's a Christian issue, the Muslim. It's not a Christian genocide. Let's correct that part. It is a genocide against Nigeria in general, because the Muslims are also victims of this. But I think the angle where the United States of America and Donald Trump saying this from is based on the fact that the terrorists are all Muslims. I think that's their own view. all the terrorists are all Muslim. You cannot show me a terrorist group in this world that is made up of Christianities or Christian people. They are always Islamic. So perhaps that's why America won't have every reason to believe that it is a Christian genocide. But in real sense, I'm saying this to the United States, in real sense, it is a genocide on Nigerians. The Christians are victims, the Muslims are victims. I agree that the terrorists are Muslim, but that doesn't mean that Muslims are also not victims. So accuse the Nigerian government of sponsoring genocide against Nigerians. I think that sounds better. You get the point, huh? And as for supporters of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, supporters of APC, shame on you people. I pour you all spit from the deepest part of the smelling part of me. I pour you a very smelling pit. Pour! You are all disgrace. And to the Nigerian judiciary, to the Nigerian National Assembly, both the Senate and the Green Chamber, shame on you all. Is it not bad enough that you all have failed? Now, a country as far away as America is now showing interest to rescue Nigeria all the way from America. I think in advance, but Nigeria, I know we'll get rescued one day, and I just hope it is what actually come. Why they are still on this? A senator, the same Ted Cruz, who headed the genocide campaign, who started all of this, we all know is a senator of the United States of America. The same Ted Cruz has gone ahead to see what I'm projecting now. He said Christian genocide. Ted Cruz revealed fresh move against blasphemy and Sharia laws in Nigeria. You see these Sharia laws and blasphemy that have taken so many lives. Whether you agree with me, it is still an act of terrorism. So if America from all the way from the United States is telling you what is happening there is wrong, we're going to correct it. Please, they are welcome. And if anybody have anything against this, but you are in support of the way Tinubu and his gang is handling Nigeria, you are an idiot.
Good day to our viewers all over the world and welcome back to Local Journal. As so many Nigerians who are thinking they are patriotic and standing for the country are all about carrying out their propaganda and trying to deny what is going on and the killing of Christians in the middle belt and parts of the country and other parts of the country, the real people who are affected are here to say what is going on, and we can listen to what they are saying and we can see their plight, we can hear their plight. I finished from Makurdi, and I know from Benue State, that was where I finished from. When I was there, while I was there, I know how hot that place was. Before I came there and all these issues were not happening, it was one of the peaceful places to live in Nigeria. Even just Plateau State has been one of the peaceful places to live in Nigeria until they came up with this whole agenda of trying to take over the country. However, Nigerians who are full of agenda, who feel that they are doing the country good, who think they are trying to protect the image of the country, and who feel that there is no insecurity going on in the land and that the killings are not targeted, are here doing everything to defend the government and to defend the government they are eating for. However, posterity will never forget this thing that you are doing, because you're trying to downplay the effect of what is going on against these people, because you're not there, you're not part of it, you are not a victim. People who are victims can testify. Allow the victims to come out and talk and speak for themselves. Don't come and speak for the victim when you're not affected, because of course, since your family is not affected and you're not affected, you can come out and defend it because you want to ensure you salvage your steady flow of pay. You're on a payroll of the government, and of course you want to kind of keep it and sustain. You want it sustainable. You want it we want to keep it afloat. You don't want anything to happen to it, and so you have to come to their defense. This is not good. This is not called patriotism, because people have lost their lives. If the government are not doing what they are supposed to do, it is the duty of every citizen to come out and criticize the government constructively and otherwise. That is the responsibility you are supposed to carry if you want to be called somebody patriotic, not supporting the government under sycophancy and doing the bidding of the government regardless of when the government is wrong or right. Have you ever seen them taking the issue of insecurity seriously in this country? Rather, they are playing politics with it. And this is the country, America is the one that is giving us attention now, and they are shivering now. This is the first time the ruling class are put under pressure. are shivering and feeling the heat that ordinary Nigerians have been feeling for years. However, they've recruited the people to downplay the situation in Nigeria and to squash every agenda or every impression that there is a genocide going on against the Christian in Nigeria. However, you are not a victim, so you will not understand. People of Southern Kaduna who have lost so many lives, the people of Jos Realm and all of that, the Christians in the northernmost part of the country who have been persecuted and all, and other people who are victims across the south and across the Niger, they can testify to this whole thing that is going on. Of course, we are not saying that Muslims as well are not targeted, but this, however, is or are the people that does not believe in this ideology they are trying to push, and those are the ones also targeted, and they are mostly Hausa Muslims, and that is what is explained in this video. However, but other Nigerians are pushing this agenda and saying that it's all lies, that it's it's just like a farmer headers clash, or probably maybe normal insurgency that is targeted at killing wherever, and not particular sect of people or particular set of people, particular set of religion whatsoever. This is what they are trying to promote. Is this okay? Is this good? This is unfair. Let's allow the people who are the real victims to talk for themselves. Let's allow them to speak for themselves, not you who is a resident of Abuja, Lagos, Port Harcourt, or the major top city coming out to speak for them when you are not affected. Of course, you have the money. If you want to travel to anywhere, you can book a flight and travel, because you are not going to, of course, you are not going to keep money for kidnapping and all of that, or you are not going to kind of be affected because you have mega churches to go. You are not living in the rural area. Of course, you are not going to be affected because it doesn't concern you. That is the reason why you are saying that nothing like that is going on. But the real people who are affected, why don't you allow them to speak for themselves? This is very unfair. When these people were crying or crying for the government's attention, they never got it. The only thing that is drawing the government's attention to this whole issue now is the fact that America is speaking. If America and Trump had not spoken, the issue will continue to be downplayed, and these people will continue to be massacred, and they will continue to unalive them. And that is the truth, because this is not just starting. It's been going on like this for decades. Please, let's not, because of what we stand to gain, discredit our name and soil our hands in what we are not supposed to soil it on, because we are talking about people's life here. This is what I have to say on this. Drop your own thoughts on this in the comment section, and if today is your first time to visit our channel, please kindly like, share and subscribe to our channel.